Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Welcome back, dear students. We had an amazing discussion the last time. We had something about programs, about different TV films and different things that we can watch on TV. Now, let's just recall what we took. Now, first of all, before we start, we have a question here. What did you watch lately? Now, since we are talking about the world of TV, since you are watching TV or while we are watching TV with someone, you can just recall the different things that we talked about in our lessons. Now, first of all, let's start with different vocabulary. You can see that we have here different vocabulary or words. Now we had different things like, for example, abrupt or animated. You can see that we have here prominent, for example, delusions or capture. We have the phrase hard to swallow. We have prestigious and conspiracy. We have just as a phrase. We have also a dime a dozen. You can see that there is doze off and many more. Now this leads us to the conversation part that we had. Now on the conversation page number 52, we had the interesting conversation between Fahad and Adil. Now do you recall what was the basic idea here in the conversation between them? Now what is the thing that we had? We had something about, of course we have the real talk. Let's just revise the real talk first. So let's just start with the real talk exercise here. We can see that we have here the 4 phrases that we studied in the lesson. We have here just, hard to swallow, a dime a dozen, and doze off. So let's start with the first meaning here. Now when we say that something is not easy to believe, not easy, I didn't believe it, or it's not easy to believe in general, we can say that it is something hard to swallow. The second meaning we have here, so common that it doesn't have value. Now there is something that is so common, it's usual, it's not something that has value, which means that we can say that it is a dime a dozen. Moving on, we have here something that is, we can say very bad or really bad, or we can say just. Leading us to doze off. Now, do you remember what is the meaning of doze off here? We said doze off is a phrase used meaning fall asleep. Now, moving on, we have the part that I talked about before between the 2 young men here. So we have agreeing and disagreeing. It's the basic idea that we have in the conversation between them. So agreeing and disagreeing, we took the table here. You can see that we have the different phrases that we can use for agreeing, or we have here phrases for disagreeing. Now you were asked in the book to role play with a partner. Think of a situation in which 2 people might disagree. Discuss your opinions using the phrases for agreeing and disagreeing together. Now I'm going to give you just an example here. Let's start here with yes. Now this is my friend Maha. We were talking about films the other day. I agreed completely when Maha said that most films are boring nowadays. And when she said that it is just a waste of money to go to the movie theater, I couldn't agree more. I said, but there are a few good ones. You're right about that, she replied. But they have been producing all these animations which I feel are for kids. Well, I see it differently, I said, and then I told her about a few animations that I have seen. You must be joking, she laughed. They are just cartoons. Now here, just to remind you that you must be joking is an informal way you can use between friends, but of course, when you use it with someone who is formal, it is impolite. Completing with Maha. Maha still wasn't convinced even after I told her that they were enjoyable. I'm afraid I don't really agree, Maha answered, but I've got an idea. Why don't we watch 2 movies and compare between them? We can see an animation and a mystery film. I'm not so sure about that, I replied, laughing. I'm not a mystery fan. I totally disagree, Maha said. Mystery films are exciting and fun to watch, but you can't judge until you see the movie. You're absolutely right, I said. You've got a deal. Now you can see that I used the phrases that we have for agreeing and disagreeing, which was the first part of our lesson in the last period. Now we have here, going back to the world of TV, what else did we talk about? We have something, we discussed different programs that we can see, leading us to the interview with Mr. Douglas. And if you recall that we just filled the table that we have here, comparing between 4 designs here and what did the CEO think about each design. Now this was our last lesson, which was the listening lesson here. Now just to recall, when we listened to the interview that was in the listening lesson here, or if you are watching any program on TV which is in English, have you ever noticed how native speakers speak English? Now, what is so special about native speakers? What makes them different from us when we talk English as English learners? Now, we are going to think about it a little bit. We have here something about, you can see that there are different sound waves here. Now, I want you just to join your ideas together. Now, think or recall here, how do native speakers speak English? Just to describe with someone, what do you think or how do you feel about native speakers? Do they speak slowly? Do they speak quick? What is the type of speaking that you can describe? Now, we're going to move on. There's another question. Have you noticed how they pronounce the words? Now here specifically, I'm asking you about the words, the details. Now we are going to see what do I mean by that. Now, coming to this question, how can you become more natural when speaking English? So, we said that native speakers have a special way in speaking, and then I asked you about the words. And now we are focusing on how we can speak naturally like native speakers here. Now we are going to move on with the pronunciation part of our unit. As we studied before, we studied the R, we studied the ED, we studied consonant clusters. Now we are going to add something new to all what we studied about, which is about or concerning vowels. So you can see from the objectives that we have here to differentiate words that end and begin with the same vowel sound from other words. So understand the idea. We have here words that end and begin. So we have 2 words. One ends with a vowel and the other one begins. We're going to see. We have the second objective, to pronounce and link words that have the same vowel sound. So we're going to start with our lesson here. As we described or as we discussed from Unit 1, the difference between vowels and consonants. And we did take something about consonant clusters. So this time I'm going to just focus on vowels. We have here, we are going to consonant about the vowels. What can we say? We have here vowels in general. How can you make your sentences flow? Now from the picture that you can see here, it's like water. Like water when it flows. So flowing here, we are associating it, or we are just connecting the idea with pronunciation. We want our pronunciation to be as easy and natural as flowing water. Now we're going to see what we have here. When a word that ends in a vowel sound is followed by a word that begins with a vowel sound, the words are naturally linked by an inserted W or Y sound. Listen and practice. So as I explained before, we have here 2 words. One ends with a vowel, the other begins with a vowel, and note there is going to be either a W or a Y sound. So we're going to see together. We have here. Now you can see that we have here a complete paragraph. We can just focus on some words. Now, for example, I, which is the pronoun I, and then it was followed by am, which starts with an A. So both of them, the I and the A, are vowels. Now instead of saying I am, I can simply say I am. I am. Another example we have here. To is one word and our. So both words, they started and ended with an O. So instead of saying 2 hour, we say 2 hour. 2 hour. You can see that my pronunciation, it is linked together, and they are naturally, the sound is natural and it flows together. Another one we have here. There are becomes there are. contribute to a positive becomes to a positive. Positive atmosphere. So let's just read the sentence or pronounce again. We have here, there are aspects that will contribute to a positive atmosphere. You can see that I didn't stop and it was flowing together. More, we have here, style of, came up, the end, we invited, 2 hour again, in a way, not in a way, together. We have also the awesome, the whole board, and quite efficient. It's like just one word together. Now, you are going to listen and you are going to just go back and focus on how the speaker is pronouncing the script here. Okay, so we can see that we have here my only opinion before we start, and let's start.
I am satisfied with the design. It certainly lives up to our expectations. Naturally, there are aspects that will contribute to a positive atmosphere. It was really frustrating to have to compromise the style of the design in order to meet functional needs at times. Finally, the team decided to go back to the drawing board and came up with 3 wonderful options. Naturally, they were presented to the board and we chose this one. It's a long process, but in the end it all comes together. We invited a team to contribute to our new premises in a way that would signal our green policies. The awesome choice regarding the design was made by the whole board. I do like it and I think it is quite efficient in practice. My only opinion about it is that it is not modern enough.
So just to recall again, we have here the last one, my only opinion. Okay, so we have here 3 words that are linked together. Now learn how to make your speaking more natural by linking. Now you can notice that I have a train that is moving all the time, because when you are speaking, just imagine your speaking is like a train, and we have here the different compartments here. They are the words that are attached and moving together. Now, it will make your pronunciation smooth, not choppy, and not like a robot. So when we are using these linking vowels together, you can see that our pronunciation flows and there are no stopping or chopping between them. Now, speaking with a flow doesn't mean speaking faster. Just put that in mind. Now here, I want you just to see here. She asked me why I wanted to try yesterday. So here, there are special sounds, as we mentioned before. Now just link your sound, especially vowels, correctly. Now here we can say that we even go over. We even go over. You can see that there is like a Y sound or a W sound while you are speaking. Now in the book, there is on page number 53, just pronounce the sentences and the words that we have here. Practice at home as much as you can, and also you can share with your classmates and you can just listen to each other and correct each other. Now going back to the idea of the TV guide and the different programs that we have. Now we discussed this a lot during our lessons here. We have something new, a new topic, which is about, as you can see from the pictures here, that they are detectives. Now the detectives here, who are they and what do they do? This is something that we are going to read about in our reading lesson, inshallah. So in our basic idea about detectives, we know that they do investigations, or we can say that they investigate together. This is just to present something for you and to remind you that we will see the words in the reading on pages 54 and 55. Match the words with their meanings. And of course, our lesson is on page number 53. So after our pronunciation, we are going to focus on words here. Now, as usual, as we did in units 1, 2, and 3, we are going to study the vocabulary building, and we are going to also see the same words in the reading lesson. So moving on, we have here, you can see that there are different words, and this is a part that we're going to see in the reading. Now, we have here the title, the formula behind detective stories on TV, and in which we are going to find our vocabulary building lesson, which is here, of course. So our objectives are going to be to give the meaning of new vocabulary from context, to establish the meaning of new vocabulary in relation to their synonyms and antonyms, answer questions and state the definitions, form sentences using the new vocabulary. So we're going to start as usual with our lesson, the vocabulary lesson. As you can see that we are going to read the words, we are going to read the meanings, we are going to discuss together, and you can discuss with your classmates alone. And we have here different hints, synonym, antonyms, pictures, and so on. So we're going to start with our lesson. First of all, we have here, you can see that we have 9 words. So let's read the words together. First of all, we have altered. And then the second word, you can read it with me, we have captivates. We have number 3, confronts. We have number 4, crucial. We have number 5, defects. We have number 6, enduring. Number 7, exotic. Number 8, ironically. And we have the last word, number 9, phenomenal. You can see that we have phenomenal. Now, these are the 9 words that we are going to study together. So let's start. We're going to start with the first word, which is altered. Now, here, this is apart from the reading as we discussed before. So let's just say that we have here. Now, detective stories are so successful that it is hard to imagine that it will ever be significantly altered. So what is the meaning of alter? We can see that we have here the word alter. We can hint and say when sometimes you are writing and you want to change your sentence or something, or we can say that you can alter the sentence or alter the meaning. So alter here, from the meanings that we have the first one, A, unusual and attractive. We have B, extremely important. We have C, imperfections, coming from the word imperfect. We have D, captures someone's attention. We have E, lasting. We have F, changed. We have G, great or remarkable. We have H, against the way it appears. We have I, meet something difficult or dangerous. So alter from the pencil, and when we say that these stories, they are so classic and they are something that we cannot imagine being altered or changed. Yes, so we have here change is going to be the first one. We have F. Moving on, we have the second one. Now, detective stories have always been a favorite in literature. Why? Because there is something appealing about the mystery and intrigue that captivates viewers. Now, sometimes even if you know what the ending of the movie is, it still captivates you. You still want to watch it. So when we come from the word captivate here, we can see the word captivate. Let's just here see that these people, they look interested. We have also here that young man. So the synonyms are something that fascinates you or attracts or interests. So we can say that the meaning here is going to be from what we have, captivate, captures someone's attention. So this is going to be, yes, D. Moving on, we have the third word. Now the third word, you can see that it is confront. Now we know, or they know, that the hero will confront dangerous villains. Now in any detective story, there is going to be a hero, and this hero confronts problems or villains. Now from the word front, we have confront. Now confront here, we can say that we have, yes, now the opposite this time. The opposite of confront is going to be avoid, leading us to the meaning. Now, from the word confront, you can see, yes, it is going to be meet something difficult or dangerous. You meet it. It is in your way. You are going to face it. So we have here confront is going to be I. Moving on, we have. Now, this is the word we have most villains are also have physical or psychological defects that add. Now, defects here are defects. It depends on how you are pronouncing the word, of course, the classification. Now, if you are talking about defects as a noun, it is different from defects as a verb. Now, we have here defects that add the ugliness to their character. Now, you can see here that we are talking about villains. Now, these villains, usually, they either have something ugly about them in their appearance or in their character in general. Now, when we come to, like, for example, let's see here. Just let's see. Yes, of course, we have here another word. We're going to discuss that now. Now, we have here, yes. Now, you can see, like, the man here, he doesn't look very pleasant, so we can say that he has some defects. Going back to the first word here at the very beginning, now, of course, the villain also plays a crucial role in the story. Can you imagine that there is a detective movie or a story without a villain? So this means that he or she plays a crucial role. Now, to use a word in another way or another content, we can say that final exams are a crucial part of the semester. Can you just move on to the second semester or the semester after that or even the year after that without final exams? Of course not. So it is something crucial. Now, this leads us to the meanings we have here when we say that something is crucial. Okay, so we have here, it's something that we can say extremely or very important, yes. Moving on, we have here the other word, which is defects. Now, what did we say about defects? Now, defects, we said that appearances, character, something bad, something ugly. So we can say that defects here is something that is imperfect, or as a noun, imperfections. So we have here, the answer is going to be yes, C. Moving on, we can see that we have here 1, 2, 3, 3 words together. Now let's read together. We have here, but what accounts for the phenomenal success and enduring popularity of detective stories? We know that there are classical detective stories that they are common, and even though they are common, we just go on and we go back to watch them again, which makes them something enduring. So it's not just to watch it one time. No, there are many things that are enduring. Now, you can say that there is some kind of pleasures in eating something sweet or something that you feel that they are enduring. And we have before the word phenomenal. Now, we describe, as an adjective, we describe success. It's not just regular success, it is phenomenal success. And moving on to the word exotic. Now, what is the meaning? Now, we're going to see also here what we have. Now, first of all, let's start with phenomenal. We can say that the synonyms are amazing, outstanding, or fascinating. And also we can add to enduring. We have here, enduring means something that is continuing, it doesn't stop. Leading us to exotic, I can describe something like here, these herbs. Now, these herbs, they have different colors, they are attractive. Okay, so do we know exactly what each herb is? No, but we know that they look attractive, so they are exotic, but they are not usual. Unusual and attractive at the same time. So this is going to be the third word that we have here, leading us to our meanings. So we have here enduring, when we say that something is continuing, or we can say, yes, we have here lasting. So this one is going to be E. I described something. It can be an island, it can be herbs, maybe sometimes different flavors, or we can see food in general. Now we have here exotic is something that is unusual and attractive. So we have here A. Leading us to the third word that we had, which is phenomenal. Now we said that something is very interesting, fascinating, or we can say that we have something great and remarkable at the same time. So we have phenomenal is going to be G, leading us to the last meaning that we have. The last meaning is against, the way it appears. And of course, we are going to match this meaning with the word that we have here, ironically, which is going to be H. But let's look together. What is the meaning of, we have here, ironically. Now, in the reading passage also, we can see that we have here, Clearly, the TV audience enjoys the mystery and the non-stop suspense of detective films. However, ironically, there is also predictability to the story that is tremendously appealing. So as I said, we have classical stories that we know, and we know what is the ending. We know that the hero is going to catch the villain or something. But ironically, we go back and watch it as if it is the first time. So we can say that we have here ironically, as we said, no, it expresses dry humor. It is the opposite of sincerely, politely, or seriously. Now you can see that there are different meanings here. So depending on the content that you have, you can use the word ironic or ironically. Now you can see from the symbol that I have here, I am going to put all the words in one content here. Now we have here, let's just see what we have. Yes. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 words altogether. All the 9 words that we studied. So let's read. You can be a phenomenal person. Learn how to captivate other people's attention by proving yourself in crucial moments. Confront yourself before others. Know your defects and avoid talking to people ironically. You can alter your lifestyle by doing what makes you happy and make them an enduring part of your life and recharge your energy in exotic places you enjoy. Now you can see that I joined all the words together in one content. This is something that you can apply to just to remember and recall what are the meanings of the words. So the best way to remember again what you have learned, just try to put it in any type of content that you desire. So be ready for our reading. We now have an idea about the reading, which is going to be about detectives, which is going to be on pages number 60 and 61. There is an exercise here. We have here answer true or false. Now rewrite the false statements to make them true. You can just read these statements here. Now just why I want you to take an idea here of what we are going to read about and brainstorm a list of elements in a detective story. Now this is something just to think about. Our outline of the day. We have here, first of all, the pronunciation. So we shared vowel sounds. We linked words together. We knew how to sound more natural by using the linking sounds here, or the linking vowels. How to make sounds flow together, and speaking is different than writing. So you can see that we have here different words in writing, but when we speak, they all come together. Now, the second part of our lesson was the vocabulary building. We, also, as usual, recalled. We have here recognized some words. We understood from content and connected with synonyms and antonyms. Leading us to the last part was to connect to the definition and relate the new vocabulary to personal experiences. So this was our lesson for the day. We had the pronunciation and the vocabulary building. Next time is going to be the reading, as we mentioned, so be ready.